Hello, Kraut's audience. My name's Peach Bailey, and I would like to take a quick second to thank Kraut for allowing me to make a video for his wonderful channel. They are big boots to fill indeed, but hopefully you'll enjoy this little video about the fact that misandry doesn't exist. 45 seconds of intros, which I will spare you the torture of going through, and start.
Hey everybody, it's just Latasha. So last night I got into an argument on Facebook. No, not with the Walmart fan page. No, not with Trump supporters who got mad at a black cashier for wearing a trucker hat. And no, not with Auntie Shireen, who makes bad potato salad and uploads a photo of herself enjoying a box wine at 2 p.m. Go to work, Shireen!
I feel like from that little list of people you presumably normally fight with on Facebook, we know a lot more about you as a person than you'd like us to.
I had to digitally subscribe to two men trying to convince me that double standards and sexism exist.
No! How could they?
Meaning women can be sexist against men and oppress them.
Staring at the camera in mock outrage isn't an argument, my dear. I'd be interested for you to explain how women don't have the power to abuse and oppress men and don't use this power every day to take their kids away from them, shame them sexually, physically assault. You know what? I bet you're getting to that. Silly me, always interrupting.
I thought that in 2016 we'd come a little further than this.
Sorry, Bearing, couldn't resist.
But then I had to realize that internet just represents a percentage of society and reading is optional.
I guess it is optional, isn't it? Like, for example, you have the option of reading all the blog posts, tweets, Facebook posts, articles, and texts from all over the internet about how shit men are and how we should kill them all. I'm reusing this from my last video, but I didn't realize it would be so relevant again already.
Let me even stress that these are two black men who take a strong stance against racism. The irony.
Again, I'm just waiting for breaking the fourth wall to be an argument.
Similar to how many white people don't listen to their black feelings, she, me, I, her, was not heard by them. But women make money, they screamed.
Yes, if we work, we get paid in some way. That's pretty basic. So either that wasn't their argument, or they're as bad at arguing as you are.
But women have higher education, they quaffed.
This one actually is a huge privilege that women have over men. More spots in universities, education literally formulated around how we best learn, not how boys best learn, affirmative action and more leniency in grading, access to little disability cards that give us more extension time for our assignments, which by the way you can get if you have bad, debilitating periods. Plus that whole pressure on men and boys to take up work at a young age so that they have a stable income and career for when they inevitably are expected to provide for a family, you know, that little thing.
But why can't they pay on the first day? They cried.
I'm starting to doubt this conversation you had. No screenshots, I guess, of what they actually said.
But let me rewind. What is this reverse sexism these boys out here crying about?
Yeah, there's actually a word for that already. It's misandry. Much like reverse racism, however, reverse sexism isn't a thing. Racism is racism, sexism is sexism, but nothing you've said so far has anything to do with misandry. It's about female privilege, so...
Sure, our vaginas don't shrink in cold water. Sure, men aren't disappointed when they find out we're small down there. And sure, the dog Snapchat filters look way better on us, but let's get back to what we're fighting about.
Then why bring that shit up? Oh, God. That wasn't comedy, was it?
Let me just quickly help y'all out and run through the facts. Most bosses in this country are men. White men.
Nothing at all to do with women taking off work to have kids and men having to work their asses off to succeed and support those kids.
Most money earners in the world are men, no matter the level of education. Men are mostly represented in media. See any superhero movie or the faces in the front of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, you know, that's so weird.
And that doesn't even begin to represent trans women.
Yeah, trans people have much less representation in the media than cis folk. Oh wait, that's because they're less than 1% of the population.
Women's health care is decided by a group of men.
And you know what? They've decided to build entire women's-only hospitals and put extraordinarily more money into research on cancers and diseases that affect predominantly women, whereas things like prostate cancer get a measly amount of funding in comparison. You know what? From now on, it's on you to prove these assertions you're making.
Pro-choice movements are decided by a group of men.
Citation needed.
Rape cases are lightly evaluated by a group of men.
Citation needed.
Women's sexuality is judged by a group of men. See, high fives for guys and shaming for women.
Interesting, because a little birdie told me that other women do a large percentage of the sexual shaming.
Women fear for their safety around men, including strangers, friends, and family, while men are concerned with how they appear on the internet.
I couldn't even begin to imagine what you're talking about.
Not all men!
Why would you do that?
See King James versus that masculine, allegedly drug-popping chick Serena. See the hilarity of dick jokes versus the disgust of twerking.
I'm really not following your rant here, is it me?
Because we can literally see a dick and laugh, but if we think about a woman's body, it needs to be controlled.
Oh, sorry, did you miss what you just said about genital shaming an entire gender? No, you were too busy thinking about yourself that it didn't even register with you how it's a double standard to literally see a dick and laugh at it.
See, begging to see a woman's body, but then shaming her for showing it.
You know who's amazing at shaming women's bodies? Other women, particularly feminists.
Leak the DMs of you asking for them pics, bruh. See boss versus bitch. See a woman passing a group of men alone versus a man passing a group of women alone.
You have shown literally no examples of any of this.
While a woman tenses up in fear and defense for the oncoming sexual harassment and humiliation, a man begins to slowly take his pick.
Citation needed.
See men call women bitch, sluts, and whores from everything from their sexual activity to their clothes to Snapchat filters, while women who complain about being disrespected are considered bitter feminazis.
I think we're just going to keep going around and round in circles with you, aren't we? There's only so many times I can say, women do this to men too, and have you ignore it in favour of only picking examples that seem to oppress the sensitive women's.
See men impose their sexual desires on women and then angered when rejected.
I think we're just going to keep going around and round in circles with you, aren't we? There's only so many times I can say, women do this to men too, and have you ignore it in favour of only picking examples that seem to oppress the sensitive women's.
See men angered when rejected.
According to the Orange County DA's office, Catherine Q. Becker is accused of cutting off her husband's penis with a knife, taking his penis and throwing it into the garbage disposal. Police say Becker attacked him because he filed for divorce. She's being held. She goes, that'll teach him.
I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like hysterical.
When we're talking money, access, safety, healthcare, sexual, and human divide between the sexes, we're talking oppression.
Well, you've just defined the privileges women have over men as oppression. You just created the definition that defeated your own argument. But do you think this woman is likely to ever see this video and talk about this rationally and look at statistics and facts? Or do you reckon she's going to cry some more about Peach Bailey's internalized misogyny?
And when we discuss double standard or reverse anything, we assume the playing field is equal.
Okay, so basically you're saying that as long as you're eternally the perceived victim, you have the right to be bigoted towards whoever the hell you want because, well, they've already got the upper hand, so you couldn't possibly hurt them. I'm starting to really understand why it's so important for feminists and SJW types to constantly play victim and make themselves look as weak as possible, whilst simultaneously proclaiming to be strong. It isn't cognitive dissonance, it's been a farce this whole time.
And when we're talking about a guy being concerned about whether or not to pay for the first date due to chivalrous tradition versus a woman picking out an outfit to both remain safe and appear as a respectable woman, then we ain't talking about the same game.
Seriously, I can't deal with her inability to form a coherent sentence or cohesive argument. You're comparing one kind of societal pressure, i.e. a man being expected to pay for dinner on the first date, versus a totally different standard placed upon men and women by evolutionary drives to make a good impression on the other sex and cement yourself as a reliable and attractive mating partner for the purpose of making the sweet, sweet coitus. These are totally different standards to be comparing. If you want to compare financials, compare men's expectations with women's expectations when it comes to paying for things on the first date. If you want to compare dress standards, you should admit that a man showing up in sweatpants, a stained singlet, and rotten stanky sneakers isn't likely to get a second date either. These things exist for a reason and they go both ways. Could you try letting a thought run through your head and just cultivate it until it reaches a logical conclusion? Don't just let a thought pop into your head, snatch it up immediately, and try to use it for an argument, please.
So if I, as a woman, have to go through all that just to exist in the same space as you, the least you could do is buy me dinner.
Oh, silly me, all this time I've been doing both at equal rates. Both dressing up to look half okay and sometimes paying for the food as well. I didn't realise the two were mutually exclusive and I should have been spending my time bitching about how hard it is to try to look good when deep down I know I do that shit for myself. Oh, I really need to learn how to woman.
See you guys next week with a new video.
Nah, I'm good, babe. I'll be over here watching Kraut. Alright guys, that wraps up my guest video, and I would once again like to give a huge thank you to Kraut. I love his work, and I'm so honoured to be given this chance to make a guest video here. Thank you so much for watching. I may see you over in my channel in the future. Have a great day, guys.
Privileged fucking cut.